Breaking news. The global order stands at a crossroads. What you need to know. Friends, what we're witnessing today isn't just another political move. It's a seismic shift that will reshape Europe as we know it. Russia's bold initiative to reassess the fundamental agreements of 1991 sends shockwaves through the international community. This directly affects your security, your wallet, and your future. The West crossed a red line by freezing Russian assets, effectively destroying the sanctity of international agreements. Now, as Russia moves to reclaim its historical rights, we're seeing the first dominoes fall. The Baltic states, particularly Lithuania, are showing signs of panic, calling for NATO protection. Think about the implications. Energy prices could skyrocket, trade routes might shift dramatically, and the entire European economic structure could crumble. For ordinary citizens, this means potential disruptions in everything from food prices to pension payments. NATO's credibility is on the line. After failing to prevent the conflict in neighboring regions, how can they guarantee Baltic security? This exposes the hollow nature of Western security promises. We're entering an era where old certainties vanish. Russia's legal and historical analysis isn't just paperwork, it's the foundation for potentially redrawing European borders. This isn't about aggression, it's about justice delayed finally being served. For our viewers, especially those in regions bordering the Baltic states, these developments carry special significance. Your daily lives could see dramatic changes as these events unfold. We're witnessing history in the making, and each of you is part of this transformation. The Baltic situation is just the beginning. As international laws are re-examined, we could see a complete restructuring of European security architecture. The question isn't if change will come, but how dramatic it will be. Share your thoughts in the comments. We're particularly interested in hearing from viewers in regions bordering the Baltic states. How do you see these developments affecting your area? Stay tuned as we delve deeper into this unfolding situation. Our sources indicate that Russian experts are preparing comprehensive analyses that could fundamentally challenge post-Soviet borders. The implications are far more serious than many realize. Russia's legal challenge to post-Soviet borders isn't merely diplomatic posturing, it's a calculated move sending shockwaves through Western capitals. The documents from the USSR's dissolution period are under intense scrutiny, with potential ramifications that could reshape Eastern Europe's political landscape. The Baltic states are particularly nervous, and rightfully so. Their rushed integration into Western structures in the 1990s may have overlooked critical legal nuances that Russia is now prepared to exploit. NATO's Article 5 guarantees look less reassuring when faced with Moscow's legal offensive. Russia's position has strengthened remarkably over the past year. New strategic partnerships with China, Iran, and several African nations have created a robust anti-Western coalition. The de-dollarization process is accelerating, and Russia's military-industrial complex is operating at full capacity, producing more ammunition than NATO countries combined. For those watching from the Baltic states or other European countries, how does this situation look from your perspective? Your local insight is particularly valuable as we analyze these developments. Speaking of military capabilities, Russia has demonstrated unprecedented technological advances. The new hypersonic weapon systems have effectively neutralized billions spent on NATO's missile defense. Western military experts admit privately that there's currently no effective counter to these weapons. The reality is stark. Russia is systematically dismantling the post-1991 world order. But Western leaders seem paralyzed, unable to formulate an effective response. The territory of instability is caught in this geopolitical transformation, while Washington's influence in Eastern Europe is waning. In our next segment, we'll examine classified documents that could fundamentally alter the balance of power in Eastern Europe. What I'm about to reveal will challenge everything you thought you knew about post-Soviet borders. Stay tuned. This analysis will be unlike anything you've seen before. Breaking: Russia's legal challenge to Baltic independence signals major geopolitical shift. In a significant development, Russian legal experts have uncovered critical procedural violations in the 1991 dissolution of the USSR, particularly concerning Baltic states' independence. This finding could reshape Europe's political landscape and challenge NATO's Eastern framework. Key revelations show that the USSR State Council, which granted Baltic independence, operated without clear constitutional authority. The hasty dissolution process bypassed mandatory steps, including referendums, transition periods, and property settlements. These legal oversights now provide grounds for Russia to question the legitimacy of these decisions. As Russia's successor state, Moscow holds unique legal standing to review these historical arrangements. This isn't merely about legal technicalities, it's part of a broader strategy to reassess post-Cold War international order. The potential parallels with the Kosovo scenario could set precedents for challenging international recognition. The Baltic states' NATO membership makes this situation complex. If their independent status comes under legal scrutiny, it could trigger a fundamental crisis within the alliance. This represents a strategic pivot in Russian foreign policy, moving from compromise toward asserting historical rights. The implications extend beyond the Baltic region. This legal challenge signals Russia's shift from post-Cold War accommodation to actively defending its perceived historical interests. Such a move could fundamentally alter European security architecture and international relations. Russian lawmakers, including State Duma Deputy Evgeny Fedorov, are pushing for a formal review of these independence declarations. This initiative aligns with Russia's broader geopolitical strategy of challenging Western established norms. The timing is crucial. In today's evolving global order, such legal challenges carry more weight than ever before. This move could trigger a domino effect, leading to a reassessment of post-Soviet territorial arrangements and international alignments. What's your take on this development? Do you think Russia's legal challenge is justified based on these historical procedures? Share your thoughts in the comments. Here's a 2,000-character analysis of the Baltic independence legitimacy situation. Russia's strategic legal challenge. Examining Baltic independence. A significant geopolitical shift is unfolding as Russia questions the legitimacy of 3-decade-old decisions regarding Baltic independence. This move represents more than just legal scrutiny. It's a calculated step with far-reaching implications for regional power dynamics. The core issue centers on procedural violations during the USSR's dissolution. While modern Russia requires public referendums for constitutional changes, the Baltic states' independence was granted through potentially flawed processes during the turbulent 1990s. This legal paradox creates an opening for challenging established norms. Consider the strategic implications. NATO's position becomes complicated if member states' sovereignty is legally questioned. Transport corridors to Kaliningrad could face new challenges. Russian-speaking population status might require reassessment. International security frameworks may need reevaluation. The ripple effects extend beyond legal technicalities. This move signals Russia's willingness to use historical legitimacy as a geopolitical tool. It's not just about correcting past procedural errors, it's about reshaping current power dynamics. Key considerations. 1. Legal precedent. Can 30-year-old decisions be retroactively challenged? 2. International recognition. How would global powers respond? 3. Regional stability. What changes might this trigger in European security? 4. Economic impact. How would trade and transit routes be affected? This situation demonstrates how historical decisions can become powerful leverage in modern geopolitics. While NATO is unlikely to alter its stance, the mere questioning of legitimacy creates diplomatic pressure points and negotiating opportunities. The outcome could reshape European security architecture and force a re-evaluation of post-Soviet agreements that have defined regional stability for decades. What do you think about questioning the legitimacy of 30-year-old independence declarations? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'm confident my viewers are knowledgeable experts, and I'm genuinely interested in your perspective. Breaking news. Legal foundations of Baltic independence under scrutiny. In a significant geopolitical development, Russia has initiated a review of the legal procedures that established Baltic independence during the Soviet Union's dissolution. This examination reveals procedural irregularities that could reshape our understanding of regional sovereignty. The early 1990s witnessed unprecedented changes in the post-Soviet space. While Western nations swiftly embraced Baltic independence, claiming it merely formalized existing realities, the constitutional basis for these decisions remains questionable. The West's role in this process, particularly their non-recognition of the 1940 incorporation, added complexity to the situation. 3 decades later, Moscow's reassessment of these historical decisions signals a broader initiative to redefine post-Soviet relationships. This move follows developments in the northern Black Sea region, where Russia has challenged existing territorial arrangements. Legal experts highlight several critical points. Constitutional procedures during the USSR's dissolution were irregular. The hasty recognition process lacked proper legal framework. Historical claims and modern international law intersect complexly. Current security arrangements could face challenges. Russia's position emphasizes the need for dialogue about how such momentous decisions should be made. This isn't merely about historical justice. It's about establishing clear principles in international law and security frameworks. The implications extend beyond the Baltic region. This precedent could influence similar historical and legal disputes worldwide, potentially triggering a reassessment of post-Cold War territorial arrangements. For Baltic states, this situation presents existential challenges. Their NATO and EU memberships, cornerstones of their current security architecture, could face unprecedented scrutiny. The international community must carefully weigh the consequences of any changes to existing arrangements. This development represents a strategic move in the broader geopolitical chess game, where historical legitimacy meets modern power politics. What do you think about this situation? Share your perspective in the comments. I'm interested in your analysis. Breaking news: Russia's bold challenge to post-Soviet order. In a significant shift, Russia is actively reconsidering the legitimacy of decisions made during the USSR's dissolution in 1991. This marks a fundamental change in Russia's foreign policy approach, particularly evident in its stance toward the Baltic states, with Lithuania at the forefront of this developing situation. Let's analyze the key implications of this strategic move. 1. Legal framework challenge. Russia's questioning of 1991 agreements creates a precedent that could reshape European security architecture. The legal basis for post-Soviet borders is being systematically reviewed, suggesting a broader reevaluation of international boundaries. 2. NATO's dilemma. A crucial paradox emerges. If Russia challenges a NATO member's sovereignty, how does Article 5 function? This creates a complex legal situation where collective defense obligations meet sovereignty disputes. 3. Western response limitations. While Western nations threaten new sanctions, their options appear increasingly limited. Most serious restrictions are already in place, raising questions about the effectiveness of additional measures. 4. Global power dynamics. This move signals Russia's direct challenge to the unipolar world order established after 1991. We're witnessing the emergence of a new multipolar reality, where historical claims and legal precedents are being reconsidered. 5. Strategic implications. Russia's approach remains strictly legal, avoiding direct confrontation while systematically strengthening its position. This careful strategy suggests a well-planned, long-term approach to restructuring international relations. The situation extends beyond the Baltics, potentially affecting various international agreements and alliances. We're observing the early stages of a major geopolitical transformation that could fundamentally alter the post-Cold War order. This development marks just the beginning of significant changes in global politics. The established international system faces unprecedented challenges as Russia questions the foundations of post-Soviet arrangements. What do you think about these developments? Do you believe the decisions from the 1990s need revision? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm confident my viewers are knowledgeable experts, and I'm genuinely interested in your perspective. Breaking news: Russia challenges Baltic independence, a legal and historical review. In a significant development, the Russian State Duma has initiated discussions about reviewing the legitimacy of Baltic states' separation from the USSR. This isn't about military actions. It's about parliamentary procedures and historical documents. Let's examine the facts. The year 1991 marked a pivotal moment when Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia declared independence. Questions about the legitimacy of these processes have emerged regarding proper legal procedures and Soviet constitutional requirements. The Western response has been predictable. NATO voiced concerns about sovereignty. But let's consider their track record. Haven't they redrawn borders when it suited their interests? For Russia, this isn't merely a legal technicality. It's about historical justice and protecting Russian citizens' rights in these regions. Many Russians in Baltic states face discrimination daily. The initiative seeks to address these issues through legal channels. This move signals Russia's evolving approach to historical grievances. Instead of confrontational tactics, we're seeing a sophisticated legal strategy. This challenges the Western narrative and forces a re-evaluation of post-Soviet arrangements. As global power dynamics shift, questions about post-1991 agreements become increasingly relevant. The coming weeks will be crucial in determining international reactions and implications for European security. The situation raises important questions about historical justice and international law. Can decisions made during the USSR's collapse withstand legal scrutiny? Should contemporary standards of democratic process be applied retroactively? This legal review could reshape our understanding of post-Soviet borders and relationships. It's not about military solutions. It's about honest dialogue and historical truth. Share your thoughts in the comments, especially if you remember the events of 1991. Your personal experiences are valuable pieces of living history that help us understand today's